I feel like a little bit of a fraud ranking Tyler Higbee where I am because he's playing a bunch of snaps, he's getting a bunch of targets, and normally those guys I just stick with, but he's just been so bad. He has not scored since week 5. He does not have a game since week 1 with more than 51 receiving yards. And there is the risk, we saw this against Houston, and the 49ers haven't been very good lately. When they've had blowout wins, that's when he's not played as much, only a 69% snap share in that game. So I'm just he's going to break out at some point. I don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way. Like, I don't want to trust him, but at some point there'll be a big game coming. Could have been last week if he had not stepped out of bounds before catching the touchdown. Red zone targets have been amazing for him. But,
7 in his last 4 games.
Yeah, and didn't do well against the Texans either when that was a great matchup. So I'm just concerned that Tyler Higbee just may not live up to what the numbers are telling you that he should be producing. All right, Dave, let's take a look at your sits here for week number 10. And you have some guys that are in some questionable situations. Gibson still dealing with the shin injury. Peterson, we know, obviously struggling a little bit. You still going to keep DJ Moore on the list?
Yes.
Okay, so still no love for DJ Moore. But Dalton Schultz has been great for fantasy managers. What's the concern taking on the Falcons?
We've started to see his target rate slide. He's down to just under 14% of the target share in Dallas over his last 3 games. That's way off of where he was from weeks 2 through 5 when he was over 23% of the target share. 12 or fewer PPR points in each of his last 3 games. Michael Gallup might come back in the first half. When Gallup was playing in that matchup against Tampa Bay, Gallup was getting tons of targets. 6 of 32 from Dak Prescott. Schultz had 2 of 32 from Dak Prescott. And the Falcons have allowed 8 or fewer half PPR points to 5 of the last 6 tight ends that they faced. The only one that went off against the Falcons was Mike Gesicki. I think Schultz is going to struggle. I would rather start Tyler Higbee.
Okay, fair points. We'll see if Gallup is activated still right now on IR, but is expected to play in Week 10. That should make you a little bit concerned about Dalton Schultz and what will happen there moving forward. My sits for Week 10, some guys that are in just some tough spots. Devontae Smith, I know was great last week. Don't love the matchup for him this week. Kirk Cousins has been a little bit tough to trust and tough matchup against the Chargers. But Cortland Sutton, we keep getting questions about him. I just can't trust him with Jerry Jeudy on the field in the match against the Eagles. They do not give up big plays. In the 3 games that Jerry Jeudy has played, Cortland Sutton, 4 catches, 63 yards, no touchdowns on just 9 targets. Teddy Bridgewater not looking for him to the same capacity. I don't even think Cortland Sutton's the number 3 receiver this week. That's how much I would be concerned about playing him in that matchup against the Eagles. Make sure you check out our Fantasy Football Today podcast, available wherever podcasts are found. Guess what? We'll do an emergency podcast coming up very soon in regards to Cam Newton, but we have you covered on everything you need in regards to all of your fantasy football needs. Check out the Fantasy Football Today podcast, wherever podcasts are available.